Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's late night Q&A with ZodWriter. Tonight, I have the honor and the privilege of welcoming El Necron with me. What's going on, man?
I'm just sitting here chilling, ready to talk some Snyderverse,
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much
among
stuff,
other things. Yes.
among other things, so much great stuff to talk about tonight. I'm just happy to be here. Happy you could be here.
Thanks for
And
inviting
we've
me.
we've got South Cali guy in the chat talking about patiently waiting for this one. Have a great stream, Zod. Likewise to Necron too. Good to see you, South Cali guy. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat, man. I hope you are doing well. Yeah, man. So our good friends, Sil Abdul and Mikey Sutton, are
Yes.
of course dealing with betas, combing the desert, trying to find an L for them. So there's a lot of that going on still to this day, no matter how many times Sil and Mikey are right. So I absolutely love that. We've got Bad Dan 530 in the chat saying, "What's up, guys? So much going on in the nerd world right now."
Very busy.
Yes, it
Very
is.
busy.
Yes, it is very busy. Not the least of which our good friend Ezra Miller, who's playing the Flash in the
Woo!
in the DC, leaving cryptic messages on his Instagram page and
From
making
another dimension.
everybody nervous because now he's posting, or we're supposed to refer to him as they. Now they're
Oh,
posting from another dimension. I, I hey, he's the Flash for real. That's
hey,
kind of the way I look at it. I
maybe
mean,
he never left the role and he is the Flash now and he's
yeah,
traveling through time doing his thing. I will say it's a little odd situation. I'm not gonna make no final judgments until more comes into the light, but
yeah,
at the moment, it doesn't sound like he's broken the law, so everybody needs to chill out and let
yeah.
just like Obi-Wan, they need to let the arc play out before you make your
I,
judgment.
I've been, and I've been saying that too. The whole Obi-Wan thing really, really bothers me. The amount of hate that show is getting because I feel like it's pretty dope. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I
Dude,
never thought we would be getting anything like this.
what go ahead.
Obi-Wan is fantastic.
What here's the thing, like I thought Darth Vader was gonna cameo. I had no idea he was gonna be a regular character in this show. And I grew up as a teenager in the 80s and we had the original movies and then a dry spell for 10 years. And I hear all these people just bitching about all this Star Wars are getting fed Disney. Oh, I get it. Not everything aligns. It's not perfect. But damn, dude, Darth Vader was a badass today. He's been a badass, but today that was like Darth Vader Unleashed, almost like Rogue One style. I stopping ships in their tracks, this blasting away. I mean, Reva was like kind of he clowned her. It was toying with her the whole
And
time. There
not
was
not
no
only that,
challenge.
Reva is actually got a cool character arc. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You know, at first I was like, yeah, she's a little cranky, but then I was reading about, people like flipping out and oh, it's woke and it's this and I'm like, "Oh, y'all need to chill the fuck out, man. This is let it play out. There's a reason why she's the way she is. And Sith Lords aren't usually known to be the nicest people around. So,
yeah, yeah,
they
and
they
and
get
and
they
and
get it done.
and this just goes to show that all these so-called Star Wars fans have been underestimating Vader this whole time too, because Vader has always been 10 steps ahead of Reva, obviously, at this
Yeah, he
point.
he knew the whole thing was going on.
Yeah.
And he had the original Inquisitor with him. They set
Yeah.
her up.
Yeah, which they were getting crapped on because people thought that they broke canon by killing the Inquisitor, when in actuality they didn't kill the Inquisitor.
No,
And
of
and
course.
they
I
they
and you
weren't they
you
weren't going to kill the Inquisitor because why would they go against their own
yeah, yeah.
canon?
They made this canon. Why would they? It just got a bunch of nervous nillies who just overreact, man, and let the story play out.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yep.
ridiculous. We got
Betas.
Yeah, we got that dude Vince in the house. What's up, Vince? Sepzod in chat. Good to see you. And Batdan530 says, "God damn it, Ezra! I believe they are innocent of this recent allegation, but that was stupid of them to post." Yeah,
It wasn't the brightest, yeah.
no, well, it wasn't the best time. Let's just
Mhm.
put it that way. I kind of feel like it's good, kind of good promotion for the Flash for him to kind of be in that character mindset, saying he's in another dimension. And under any other circumstance, that might work and that might be cool, but because of you know what's going on now, Batdan says they deleted their Instagram. Okay.
Oh,
Well, that I didn't know. I don't know. I don't follow Ezra on Instagram, so you know,
same
that
here. I
that
don't
Dan,
follow it all.
you're our resident Ezra Miller follower. I mean, that's
Keep us
he,
posted on the
yeah, he
breaking
keeps us
news.
posted and actually has correspondences. I don't I never followed him on social media. I just tend to uh, look at the news like everyone else and see what's going on out there. Chad Snyder versus in the house. So
What's up, Chad?
good evening, Snyder Bros. Yeah, we're Snyder Bros. We're Snyder bots up in here.
Yeah,
And
we're
if you
botting
ask,
tonight.
and if you ask a lot of people, they would say that we're cultists, but we're not just Snyder cultists anymore. We're actually Sill cultists
Yeah, so
because we follow Sill and Mikey. So
we're in the
that's a
Mikey verse as
we're in
well.
the Mikey verse, and the Mikey verse is a dirty word. If you really want to trigger some betas, just mention Mikey Sutton or mention Sil Abdul, and they will just lose their stuff because to them, Sil and Mikey have no credibility, even though it seems like Sil and Mikey are always right. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just not as good as predicting the future as Mikey and
Yeah.
Phil are.
And Batman says, well, ZodWriter fandom menace was going to hate Obi-Wan no matter what. Now, I'm glad you said that, though,
Yeah.
because I wanted to point out, Batman, uh, today I noticed that Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers, he kind of walked back some of his negative
Hmm.
uh, comments that he was making about Obi-Wan, and he was very he was complimentary to this episode that came out today, more so than I think he's ever been for anything Disney Star Wars. So I was surprised to see that. I was surprised to see him give it any kind of praise whatsoever, and to see him kind of backpedal a little bit was a little bit refreshing to me because it's slightly different because those guys
Yeah,
don't really ever move away from their narrative, which is that Disney Star Wars is bad and that it's woke and that it's not
yeah.
something that you should pay any attention to. They're very critical of it, but this particular episode, that wasn't the case. And I really, so I got to give them credit for actually being able to see that, hey, yeah,
Hmm.
this was a change. This was something different that Disney Star Wars doesn't normally do. It wasn't formulaic. And somebody else I saw today pointed out that this episode had a different writer
Oh, is that so?
than the previous episodes, and you can kind of tell because the writing was particularly good in this episode.
Yeah, any of the characters didn't act weird or kind of like didn't have a weird cringe type
Right,
moment or
and
anything.
actually, and again, I love the fact that Riva actually has a character arc, which
Yeah,
if people were paying attention since the beginning, she was always going to have a good character arc. They just took a while to get there. And
yeah, they had to build it, man.
I mean, if you give everybody everything in the first episode, there's not
What's
going to
left?
be anything to watch.
Yeah.
So so again, I don't understand all this hate. And I mean, I feel like the episode that we got today was very, very well thought out, and a lot of the stuff was nice. I mean, I see a lot of people nitpicking, complaining about, well, Hayden Christensen looked looked old in the flashbacks and they should have de-aged him a little better. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, number one, it's a TV show. Who cares? It's just cool to have the two of them back, the two of them together. I mean, it really isn't, just seeing Anakin again was cool enough. I mean, what are you gonna do? It was,
some people have
one scene.
They've forgotten how to suspend their disbelief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on, you know what's going on. You get the picture here.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Chad Snyderverse saying Obi-Wan episode 5 was excellent.
Yeah.
And Integrity 101 says Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. Absolutely. And the Sith Holocron says, hey, all you awesome nerds. Kneel before Zod. Great to see the Sith Holocron here in the chat. And Integrity 101 says, Iron Maiden poster. Nice. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Gotta represent the metal. Yeah.
Gotta represent. Definitely. And Chad Snyderverse says, honestly, I've enjoyed most Star Wars content since the sequel trilogy ended. Even before that, there was good content like Rebels and Mando Season 1 and Jedi Fallen Order. I agree with you. Yeah, I really haven't had any problems with anything post the sequel trilogy. I really, to me, my issues were with that sequel trilogy because it was so poorly executed and they really had no plan.
Yeah, you could tell it was written on the fly.
And I mean, I understand because it's Star Wars, they think they could do that. But the reality is you need a plan whenever you're dealing with these franchises. And at least with this, what they're doing now, I will say it, I think I actually am enjoying Obi-Wan a little bit more than Mandalorian. And I loved Mandalorian. I think Mandalorian is great, but I'm enjoying Obi-Wan for so many different reasons and on so many different levels. I don't know if it's just nostalgia because I like seeing Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back together in something.
It is pretty cool,
but it's pretty damn cool.
It's pretty cool.
It gives you a great warm fuzzy feeling. We've got Chad Snyderverse saying hello to everybody. And we got the main man, Skywalker, the Jedi, with the $2 super chat with the big eyes, looking to see what we're going to say to the betas tonight. Because, again, betas are always going to be betas. And they're going to come at you, whether you're talking about the Snyderverse, whether you're talking about Star Wars, no matter what it is, there's always some sort of hate narrative going on. I mean, Necron, are we just that spoiled now that we've got so much content that people can't help but complain? Because
I think we are. I think we are. They don't. So too. They really don't appreciate how much stuff they're getting fed now. And
it's amazing.
I can get criticism, but the constant hatred and complaining and the really just being upset, like these people are gonna have to have like high blood pressure medicine soon because they just get worked up
all over their mere entertainment. That's something this is what makes me wonder, how do these people deal with real life problems?
Do they have real life problems?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, I mean, is it really true, the stereotype about some of these people living in their parents' basements? Is that really the reality of the situation? Because I
hope not.
I have to question some of these people that get so worked up over this stuff.
You go to entertainment to enjoy,
to escape
and have a good time, not to let it drive you crazy.
Yeah,
or move on to something else.
It's not like there's not enough choices out there.
I know.
I mean, my God, if you don't like, maybe Joker 2, the musical, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe Star Wars is your thing, or Birds of Prey, or I don't know,
go to your Netflix, you'll find something.
Or Netflix or something. I don't know. There's tons of stuff out there. It's crazy to me. Chad Snyderverse says this whole Ezra shit is tiring. I'm just gonna wait to see how it plays out. Yeah. Well, I kind of look at it like this. There's a lot of stuff about this whole Ezra thing that the public doesn't really know. We don't know. We only know the bits and pieces that were fed from the lying media. We don't know what the reality is.
I mean, the girl is 18.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't like perfect, but legally, what are you gonna do? You can't force an 18-year-old to do something they don't want to do. I think in most states that you're considered an adult.
I'm wondering if a lot of the stuff that if we're heading to a point where the legal age is going to be changed from 18 to 21. You're no longer considered an adult until you're 21 years of age, because the 18 is still skirting that minor territory, and people get so up in arms over stuff. I'm wondering if that's something that we're headed towards eventually.
That would be weird, but I guess they could do that.
Yeah, it would be weird, but
But I mean, honestly, I think it was made that way to keep it safe for certain type of relationships that happened. That's probably why these lawmakers did it, because they were involved in it in themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Chad Snyderverse says, to me, a lot of the Star Wars hate is The Last Jedi post-traumatic stress disorder, which is understandable, but I think writing off everything Disney Star Wars is bad without even seeing it is just an unhealthy mindset. Well, and then they go into it negatively, like,
yeah, you're not going to win with that attitude,
right?
You're going to be pissed off regardless.
Right. It's automatically bad because it's Disney Star Wars. And I just don't, and I've said it before, this whole Obi-Wan show, I've been glued. Like, if I start an episode of Obi-Wan, I can't get up until the episode is over. I love it. I got to watch it all the way through. And I don't know if it's just nostalgia or what, but I think it's fantastic.
I remember seeing some of these people complaining that, when the first episode started, well, he's not like Obi-Wan, and he's, not being like a Jedi. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, the fucking whole Jedi Order just went down in flames.
Right. Do you follow Star Wars lore?
Everything he stood for has been destroyed, and like his number one enemies run the show now, the Sith. He knows it. Not everybody else knows it, but he knows it's the Sith. That's the Empire. So of course he's down in the dumps.
Yeah.
His pupil turned against him, and it was a mess for him.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't. And I see a lot of videos where they talk about it like, oh, this is the Last Jedi all over again. Look at how they're doing the exact same thing to Obi-Wan that they did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. No, because the difference here is, and I've said this too before, Luke Skywalker, the reason why it was so jarring in The Last Jedi is not because they deconstructed Luke, but because they took Luke being the most optimistic character and turned him into somebody that lost all hope and just gave up on everything he believed in without any real context as to why that happened. He went from being the most optimistic superhero in pop culture to being one of the most depressing curmudgeons you could ever see. And that's why people were so upset. It wasn't that you deconstructed Luke. It was that you did it in a way without giving us any context, without really showing us why. And then the little things that you gave us to try and convince us why
it didn't add up.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because just because Luke makes a mistake doesn't mean he's going to completely give up. That's exactly the opposite of what Luke Skywalker would do.
Yeah, he would have carried on.
Right. He would have picked himself back up, and he would have figured out a way to solve the problem. That's what Luke would have did. But now on the other hand, with Obi-Wan, you could totally see why Obi-Wan is this way, because for the examples that you gave, he lost the Jedi Order. Everything is in shambles. The Jedi are being hunted. He has to be in hiding. He
Hmm.
can no longer really practice the Force. He's a marked man. I mean, there's a lot of things about Obi-Wan Kenobi where it makes perfect sense for him to be the way he is, and you have canon for that. You have episode 3 for that. You have, his relationship with Anakin was one of the primary reasons. That was his brother. That was his, closest ally. I mean, my God, it all makes perfect sense with Obi-Wan, whereas with Luke, it didn't make sense.
Luke didn't even give up on Darth Vader.
No. And then
You know,
that's like the biggest sin of the Last Jedi. He killed his own father, and he didn't get, and he ended up still redeeming him in the end, and he didn't even, and he didn't give up. He
yep.
could have. I mean, I just, to me, I
There's
just
no
feel,
comparison.
I just feel
Yeah.
like these people just don't understand Star Wars. That's what I think it is, or they're so tied into their negative viewpoint of things that they can't stop and see the story for what it actually is. Because really, if you think about it, Star Wars, from a story perspective, hasn't really changed all that much, since Disney took it over. They've pretty much, carried on, but it's just the fact that, uh, the sequel trilogy did a horrible job and messed up a lot of people's view of Star
Yeah,
Wars, to
it
the
did.
point where it jaded so much of the fan base that there was really no turning back, and
Yeah, they can't
that's
come
the
back
problem.
from it. Yeah.
Right. And I feel bad about that, because I feel like people now are missing out because they've put up these mental blocks in their head, and they're not able to go back and look and see that they are trying to right the ship with these new stories. I mean,
I think they're doing a good job. I Boba Fett to me was the weakest of the new
yeah,
ones.
I agree.
But when Mandalorian came in, it kind of that changed the season too, and it got better, and it definitely is worth watching.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's good, and even Boba Fett, as lackluster as it was, picked itself up.
Yeah, it definitely became watchable.
I don't know after how well Disney did with Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian, with what the I'm a little picky. You're talking about de-aging. Okay, with de-aging tech, Disney set their own bar. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's interesting, and I really feel like with this episode they could have maybe used that technology on Hayden Christensen to make him look a little younger for that flashback, because that flashback looks like it takes place during episode 2,
Yeah.
because Anakin still has his hand. He still has his arm, so he's not. So this was before he got, yeah. So that in the timeline, yeah, he does look rather old and a little bit rugged in that flashback with Obi-Wan, but it was still cool. It still felt authentic to me. I don't know.
I thought it was awesome that Darth Vader was thinking about that.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. It was
Yeah, I was
brilliant.
like, this is cool.
I love this show. That's why I say I can't understand all the hate it's getting and all this. And I gotta say, man, I kind of blame Disney for the whole, Moses Ingram Riva controversy, because I feel like Disney chose to focus on basically trivial BS, because a lot of actors get those kinds of messages on social media. You always have a few wayward idiot fans that are going to say the wrong thing, or
Sure, that's yeah, that's
a
just how
lot
it
a lot
goes.
of it is like 14-year-old kids.
They're just dummies.
You're dealing with dummies. You're not dealing with people. By and large, the majority of the fan base will accept any new Star Wars character. And I feel like Disney focusing on that and bringing attention to it and blowing it up and making it a big deal was part of the problem. I mean, if they would just focused on the story and the content they were trying to deliver, I don't think it would have been a big deal, because this is definitely a good story. It's definitely a compelling story. You don't need to blow it up with controversy over a few idiots,
Should just not even
yeah,
talk about it.
don't
It's like, of
any
course they were
attention.
going to get
It's
that. Why are you
stupid,
going to
you
make?
know.
You're just going to fuel the fire with more people who want to do things like that when you bring it up.
And the thing that irritated me the most is that Reva is not the first person of color to ever appear in a Star Wars
Nope.
thing. You're not dealing with someone who, she's not pioneering anything. She's a good character. She was a good character. She was just written a little poorly in the beginning, but now she's getting more fleshed out, and you actually got a character arc. And honestly, after today's episode, the chip on her shoulder that she had in the beginning makes so much more sense, because now you know where it's coming from. Now you know why she feels the way she does. So, I mean,
But how is she going to react to it to be basically happening to her again?
yeah, exactly. Being
Where does she
left in the gutter by Darth Vader and the Inquisitor. What are you going to do now? I mean,
how does that change her arc? How does she respond? That's where she's going to have to pull out some good acting. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Let it happen, man.
And let's be honest, Moses Ingram, she's a great actress. She really is. I've seen her in some good stuff. She's good. If you just give her the material to work with, she'll do fine. And I honestly, I'm so excited about this upcoming episode, because man, next week's episode, if the leaks are true, is feature length.
Yeah, it's like a movie almost. Is what
I mean that's something.
That's gonna be great.
I mean, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm like, I and I said this before too. I'm like, I wish that Obi-Wan was 25 episodes, because I really want this show to continue. I don't want it to just be 6 episodes and done, and we got to wait for a whole nother season. I want to see more. But I mean, I don't know. I've been a fan of it, and I don't really care about all the negative stuff. I mean, I'll watch to see what people are saying, but none of their negative comments have really changed the way I see it at all. I'm enjoying it for what
I was when it first came out, I was kind of not slamming, but saying she was grumpy, right? Cranky character. And Trey back channel was reviewing it, and he was like, "Hey, well, let the arc play out, man. We don't know where it's going." Like, you know what, Trey, you're right.
That's how I kind of looked at it. Yeah, I didn't like her at first, and I had to acknowledge that the writing was kind of bad at first for her character. But now
her fault.
That we're seeing what they're trying to do, now it kind of makes sense, because she has a chip on her shoulder that's the size of the Death Star. Yeah. And she has to try to reconcile it and try to figure it all out. And especially when you get down to it, I couldn't believe the way her and Obi-Wan had such a candid conversation.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was ridiculous. The way they were talking, behind the door. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is some amazing dialogue. I'm like,
and Obi-Wan, tapped in and knew what she was really up to. Because I'll admit it, I knew something was going to happen with her. She was going to change, but I did not think she was trying to kill Vader.
Yeah,
that was like, wow. I didn't see that part of the arc coming, but that was cool.
Yeah, it's just great. It's just great that she has an actual arc. I'm loving where the show is going, and I can't wait for this. I have a feeling that this episode that we're going to get next week is going to be epic. I really do.
God,
I just have this feeling that all the naysayers are going to be picking their mouths up off the floor when they see the final episode, because they definitely
be a lot like big. This when this came out.
Yes. Speaking of epic.
Speaking
of epic, rules. Absolutely. And we got Chad Snyderverse saying, that being said, Can't wait to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge tonight. Oh yes, I am looking forward to that game as well. I'm excited. I can't wait. It has a very modern but classic arcade look to it. I'm super excited for that. I'm glad more people are excited for that Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Um, uh, yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Let's see. Integrity 101 says, off topic, Zod, who are some of your favorite brands? El Necron. Bands, not
Bands?
brands. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bands.
Though. Oh well, might mean I I kind of eclectic taste of music. I go from everything from the New York Dolls to underground black metal like
Mm.
Marduk and Watain, and death metal like Necrovore, Morbid Angel, the Judas Priest, the Motley Crue. You know,
And you
just
do some music yourself, don't you?
I play in a couple of bands. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So there you go. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, me, I have a very diverse taste in music as well. I'll listen to everything from classical music to hard rock to metal, everything. I don't. I feel like good music is good music. The genre doesn't really matter
It
so
doesn't.
much.
There's like I always say, there's good bands and bad bands,
Yes.
not good genres and bad genres. And hell, some of the stuff I used to listen to a lot, and still to this day, like I still like Public Enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Public Enemy still cool. Yeah.
Ice T and all them guys that were making trouble back in the day. I still enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
So
And South Kelly guy says, running late, but I made it. Definitely have to do a rewatch. Glad you made it. Let's see. Let's see. We got people popping in. And Integrity 101 says, drama is ruining the nerdy community. Well, it's if you let it.
if
But
you
if
focus on that type of
yeah,
energy, yeah,
yeah. If you don't let it take your joy away and you remain optimistic and positive, like you have, Integrity, about Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, uh, again, the I this is why I'm so thankful we've got Sil and Mikey. Because Sil and Mikey are holding it down for
yeah.
uh the Snyderverse fandom, holding it down for us because again, we are it's positivity, and he's bringing us the straight dope that he's getting, and whether it's what we want to hear or not want to hear, they're giving it to us. So
That's what I don't get about. I mean, they must not watch Sills and Mikey's old videos where they were giving us bourbon all the time.
oh no, they don't watch it.
So
It's all about headlines and
calling
uh,
it an echo chamber and all that is
right
really
they
asinine and
a
dumb.
cult, where
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like I say, if you actually watch Sill's channel, and I tell this to people all the time, Sill's entire channel is a receipt based on everything
totally.
that we've been hearing and stuff that we know or we don't know.
Hey, you remember this one? Nothing's fundamentally going to change when the new management come in. Emmerich's going to stay there, and
Emmerich is
all
gonna
the
stay and
like,
Armada's
man,
gonna stay and they're all gonna, it's gonna all be the same thing. And it's like, no, you guys
you
are
never
just
heard of a
high.
takeover, man.
Yeah,
That ain't
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, I don't know how many mergers y'all have been through. And it's so funny how so many of these people that are saying all this nonsense act like they know about mergers and stuff. But every merger that I ever went through working, whenever I was
It's a
at a
bloodbath.
company, it was a bloodbath. None of the big people up top ever stayed. They were always
They get the
out
boot,
the
man.
door immediately.
And yes, and they sent out a wonderful, nice email about them, wanting to take on new ventures or whatever the case. It's a nice way of saying you're fired, hit the road.
Yeah, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. That's basically all that happened. And and then again, Toby's production deal is another example of that. He's
Yeah,
he they all those executives get that. That's part of their golden parachute, you know.
yeah. So it doesn't totally look like they got shit on. I mean, that's what it is. It's just some crumbs to give them to walk out, looking somewhat decent. But if you know it's up, they're fired.
Exactly. But drama is ruining the nerdy community only if you allow it to ruin your joy. Don't let it ever take anything away from you, especially if you know the truth. Especially if you follow people like Sil and Mikey, and you don't listen to all the BS, and you see right through all the garbage.
And the
You'll be
clickbait.
yeah. And like I was saying the other day, a lot of people they don't even read articles. They essentially just read like the headline,
Yeah.
and they make their judgment and base all of their assumptions
That's
off
so
of the
dumb.
headline. I've
Yeah.
never seen anything like it. I mean, when I was in college and high school and college, I took journalism, and journalism 101 was always that your headline was always your lead. It was always your hook to get you into it.
Your
But
attention getter.
But it doesn't necessarily reflect what your entire article is about. It's just to get you to read the article. That's all it is. And that's all these people do now. They read the headline.
They read the headline and they're already commenting.
Losing their shit over the headline.
Whoa, did you read the article, man?
No, they didn't.
That's where the meat and potatoes of it are.
Exactly. And let's see. Chad Snyderverse says, for my Xbox from Shredder's Revenge is on Game Pass. Yes, Game Pass for the win yet again. Let's see. And Batdan 530 says, but if they change the legal age from 18 to 21, then 21 would be that skirty borderline territory. I don't know, because you're I mean, the whole 20 changing it to 21 it would kind of make sense from the perspective of that's when you're old enough to drink. So, I guess to say you're really legal when you're old enough to drink. I don't know.
But you can buy a gun.
Yeah, you could buy a gun, but who knows?
Not getting into all that.
We're not getting into all that, but that might change too at some point. But who knows? But who knows? We're living in strange times.
Very true, Zod.
It's and we got Tim's talk. We got basically Kylo Ren himself. What's up, Kylo Ren? He says, "Hello, ZodWriter and crew. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. I'm kind of curious as to what your thoughts are on all this great new Disney Star Wars content we're getting, because quite frankly, I mean, I think if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you're eating good right now. You really are.
Oh, yeah. You're getting a show almost every month almost.
Yep. You're getting something very positive, something to look forward to. I mean, we've got an Ahsoka series coming up, and I mean, I'm
Sounds
happy.
like we're getting Darth Maul. That's my favorite character.
And then of course, if the report from Mikey, well, we know Mikey is on point, so we'll just say Mikey is right, and he said that they're gonna do a Darth Vader series, which makes perfect sense.
Especially after this.
Yeah. And you got Hayden Christensen back. So it would make sense for you it would actually make logical sense for you to utilize Hayden Christensen and do a Darth Vader show.
That'd be great.
I would. Oh my God.
I already like Vader on Obi-Wan, so a full-on Vader show.
I'm telling you. And you know what? The rumors of the people are reporting on about a possible Reva show, after seeing this episode and seeing what her arc actually is, I would not be opposed to a Reva show. I'd watch it. Because
I don't subscribe to Disney not to watch things.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Disney Plus is, it's a good streaming service. I mean, I enjoy it for the most part. And even if I wasn't, and like I say, even if I don't can't reconcile everything that they do in these Star Wars shows, I can always go back and watch my original unaltered Star Wars trilogy
Yeah.
and see that as its own separate thing.
Yeah.
Because thanks to the great people like Harmy and Team Negative, we have, you know, ways to watch the original unaltered Star Wars trilogy as its own separate thing in HD quality. So, hey, it is what it is. And I also had said before that I think at some point Disney is going to remake uh, the original trilogy to line up more with what they're doing. And if they do that, then you just have to look at the original trilogy as vintage classic movie material
Yeah.
if they do that. But I don't know, that'd be a stretch, and that would be a hard one for a lot of people to swallow. They'd be like, you can't do that, you can't.
That
but
might push them over the edge.
but George Lucas
Yeah.
has tinkered with that one enough himself to where I don't really know what the complaining would be about. I mean, he's tinkered with it and added a bunch of stuff that was never there before, never meant to be
Well,
there.
remember
So
the
it's
Han
just,
shoots Guido,
yeah,
that whole controversy after he tinkered with that. So
yeah, yeah. He had them both shoot at each other at the same time.
yeah.
Koopy Malik says, was Netflix Warrior Nun based on a comic book run? Saw the second season trailer, looks good. Forgot what the publisher's name was. I don't know. I've never actually watched Warrior Nun. This is actually the first I'm hearing about it, Koopy Malik, but I'll have to check it out. What about you, Necron? You heard
Yeah,
of Warrior Nun?
I think it was an anime show or
Might have
something like
been
that,
an anime or a
or a
comic. It
manga. Yeah,
sounds
I it was
familiar in
based
that
on
regard.
something, but I
Yeah.
don't have original issues or anything now.
We've got the great Chubby Teddy Master Productions here in the chat
Chubby.
saying, just wanted to say hi to everyone. Good to see you, Chubby. I know you've been a busy guy. Hope all's going well with you. Skywalker the Jedi says, I was liking Obi-Wan up to this point, even though I had problems with it. The last episode, those fire. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally on fire, man.
And Goofy Foot says, Zod, you are Lobot with these headphones. I love these headphones. I love these headphones. It's very, very clear. I can hear everything. People can hear me. These headphones are fantastic.
But man, I got telemarketer headphones. I don't even care about that.
Yeah, your headphones are awesome. I mean, you can hear. Well, the telemarketer headphones I used to use when I did internet radio. I used to use these headphones, Microsoft Live Chat headphones, and they were essentially telemarketer headphones. But the problem I had with those was that the cord after so many uses, the cord would start. There would be like a short. It was some sort of factory short or something in them, and they would stop functioning the way they are. And these are actually Mercedes brand headphones.
Wow.
And they're awesome. I love them. I've never had a problem with them. And they're $25 on Amazon, folks. So if you want a good pair of
there you go.
headphones for podcasting or doing streaming, Mercedes headphones for $25 on Amazon. Worth every penny. We got the great Socks Bulletins here in the chat. What's up, Socks? Always great to see you, man.
Mikeyverse.
Yes. Hashtag Mikeyverse. And we got Koopy Malik. Obi-Wan had so many problems, I think, but as a show, it is quite decent, in my opinion. A lot of it is you just got to look at it as a TV show.
It is a TV show. They don't have a movie budget.
Not take it so seriously in the fact that, it doesn't have the budget of the films. And understand that just the fact that they were able to get Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back for it is phenomenal in and of itself. Just to have those two back together for a few shows, it's incredible. I mean, and they were moving today like they never left, like they never stopped.
And I don't even care, I know a lot of people are caught up on, in episode 4 where they say, the student is the master now and all that.
We're gonna get that
Technically,
in the last
yeah,
episode, though.
technically, we could see what happens here. It hasn't played out, and I'm sure they knew that when they were making that, they had to make that make sense.
They've got continuity advisors
Yeah.
at Lucasfilm, and it was just like all the hate the writer was getting for the Inquisitor. You
Oh,
haven't
the
even
way he
seen.
looked and all that.
No. The fact that they allegedly killed off the Inquisitor. Remember, like they didn't wait to watch the episode to see that. Hey, they're not going to go against their own canon. Okay, they're not going to kill the
read
Inquisitor.
Comics or
for real?
No one's never dead unless you see him buried. Even buried, they still come back. So come on, man.
Yeah, I knew the Inquisitor wasn't dead.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay any attention to that noise because I knew there was no way they were going to go against their own canon. I mean, Rebels is their canon. They're not gonna. If Rebels takes place after this,
yeah.
So there's no way that the Inquisitor is going to be killed early on. I don't know. I just, to me, I feel like a lot of these so-called fans have kind of let their Star Wars lore knowledge kind of fall off the boat because because they're blinded by their hate for Disney. That's what it is. Integrity 101 says, I literally know nothing about Star Wars. In fact, I used to wonder why are Star Wars fans always talking about lifesaver candy. I'm learning. Oh, lifesaver candy, lightsabers. Okay. We still need to see some Star Wars content from you, given your name. Oh yeah, talking to Skywalker. Yeah. We need to get Skywalker to drop some knowledge on.
We need a
Star
Skywalker
Wars.
Jedi Council episode.
Oh, that would be fun. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. I mean, because we know, I mean, Skywalker would lay it down.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm liking it more and more. I jumped out of my seat. Yeah, I again, Obi-Wan, I'm a fan. I love it. I'll even buy. Don't worry, I'll even buy the Black Series Reva action figure. I'm cool with it. I love it all now. I'm like, hey, listen, she has an arc. That's all I was waiting for, to show that she had an arc. Give me a reason why this character has this chip on her shoulder. Don't do what they did with Luke Skywalker, where they don't give us any real reason.
Bad place now, but
don't
worry about it. But why?
Yeah. He turns his back on everything, but it was just because of some confusion over his nephew. It's like, what? That makes no freaking sense. If anything, Luke would have been the one to see the good in his nephew.
Yeah,
Luke is always looking for the good in people.
Luke would have stopped the dark side from taking over him.
Yeah, and Luke is hella powerful, so there's no way that Luke would have allowed Snoke and the dark side to corrupt his nephew. There's no way.
Don't even get me started on Snoke. Like, that was a big letdown. Like, okay, he's dead, and that's that. And
again, we got Ryan Johnson to thank for that.
That was terrible.
I don't understand, subverting expectations just for the sake of subverting expectations.
Yeah.
Story and everything be damned. We need to subvert expectations and swerve the audience.
You can't. I know, like, some people like to throw in a monkey wrench to shake things up, but sometimes you got to make it make sense. You can't just throw it in there.
Just like Skywalker always says, make it make sense. Make it make sense, or I'm out of here. Make it make sense. I mean, and this is what they did with Reva. You gave it some time, and now you've made it make sense. Now all those people complaining about Reva should now be able to shut up and accept why her character is the way that it is. Because I'm thinking about it now from that perspective. If I was her, I would have a chip on my shoulder like that too.
And you know what, Zod? I heard someone saying, "Well, it doesn't excuse her torturing people and doing that." And I go, "You do realize she's corrupted by the dark side still. That's why she's a villain still, and she did terrible things because she's corrupted by the
Well, it
dark
was like
side."
it was like it was like Anakin. It was like Anakin, right? I
Hmm.
mean, look
Yeah.
at what Anakin, all the stuff Anakin did. When Anakin is redeemed at the end of Return of the Jedi, you don't think that you know, it's not like all of the evil and corrupt things that he did are just forgiven
No.
because he turned back to the light. No, now you turn back to the light. Now you atone for the things that you did when you were Darth Vader. And here's the other thing about that. I've seen a lot of stories about, a lot of what if stories about, what if Anakin would have uh, survived Return of the Jedi. And I'll tell you this is what would have happened. If Anakin would have survived Return of the Jedi, he would have went on trial for all the crimes he committed, and he would have been put to death,
Most likely. Yeah.
regardless of how repentant he may be now, regardless of what of his relationship with Luke, regardless of how Luke would have been trying to defend his father, because Luke always sees the good in people. Darth Vader still would have been executed. There's no way that
People have
space.
been out for blood.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no way
all
he
the
would have.
crimes he's
There's
committed.
no way he would have lived. So essentially, dying when he did on the Death Star in his son's arms was probably the best way for him to go out.
Correct.
Probably was the most poetic, beautiful way he could die, because otherwise he would have just been put to death by the Rebel Alliance.
It would have been political.
Absolutely, absolutely. He would have had to die just for political purposes.
Yeah,
For
it would
for
have been
no
totally
other reason. That there's no way he would have lived with all the stuff that he did. Sox Bulletin says, I take it y'all like the new episode of Kenobi. I know I did. Absolutely.
yes, totally.
Absolutely. That's why we're spending so much time talking about
I know. We
Star
ain't
Wars.
talked about anything else. We've gone
It's
on
amazing to
Kenobi.
me. It's amazing to me, though, because again, I never really talk about Star Wars, but at this point, it's like, yeah, Obi-Wan is so good, you got to talk about it, because I mean, all the hate that it's been getting for weeks. It's like, come on. I don't know.
I mean, like I said earlier, you're getting Vader weekly.
Yeah,
Vader
it would,
weekly.
and when Vader gets his own show, it's gonna break
Woo.
the internet. I
Yep.
know, I know, I'm gonna be living for that show. I mean,
It's gonna be good
it's
stuff.
incredible. Uh, let's see, we got Koopy Malik says Skywalker. Oh god, the chat's jumping down on me again here. Skywalker, glad you liked it. For those who follow the old lore, the show has many inconsistencies, but as a show, I like it also, treating it as another sci-fi show. It's what it is that they are slowly but surely pulling various things. They're cherry picking various
Yeah.
things from the original Legends lore. That's what we're getting. So you're gonna see later on. You're gonna see more. I believe Grand Admiral Thrawn is gonna pop up in the Ahsoka series, and you're gonna have more. You're gonna have more Legends material seeping
What's
into.
the kid Jedi from Rebels?
Oh yeah, Ezra Bridger. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see a live
Well,
action.
he's been cast. Yeah, the live
Oh,
action
okay,
version
there
of
you
him
go.
has been cast, so he's going to be in it. And again, I just love all this stuff. I think it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, and I think it's
If you lived in the great drought of the '80s after the original,
and that's the thing that always got me. I never understood why we had to wait so long between Return of the Jedi and the prequels. I always,
Just
for me, it would have made sense, especially with all the great novels that came out later on. Why in the 90s they didn't take some of those novels and just adapt
yeah,
any three books written by Timothy Zahn, and you would have had surefire hits on your hands with the old cast, because they were all still young enough to
Yeah, they
to
could have
play the
done it.
characters. It would have been fantastic. Luke was the right age to be rebuilding the Jedi Academy and everything, and they wouldn't have to use CGI and deep fakes and different things
Yeah,
that they're doing now.
spend all that money on.
I mean,
Yeah.
my God, it would have been incredible. But I mean, I understand because Lucas had different ways he wanted to do things. But
But
I
I like how Koopy looks at it though. He knows it's not perfect, but he's still enjoying it.
absolutely.
He's being rational about it. Like, hey, it's still a cool sci-fi show regardless.
Yeah, and that's why I say, even if you can't reconcile it with original trilogy canon, like even if you have to view it as its own separate thing, you can still enjoy it because it's still Star Wars. It's still a lot of fun. It's still awesome, and I just think that people need to chill a little bit and just stop and realize we're getting some good material. Again, I think people are just spoiled now because we're getting so much content that complaining is all that they can really do.
Yeah.
Um, Integrity 101 says, I've been having fun on Skywalker streams lately. Shout out to the Bat Channel, also been having fun there lately too. Yeah, yeah, two very amazing channels. Again, Skywalker is fantastic.
Skywalker's on fire, dude.
He's Skywalker. I mean, you
They
can't.
they co- they come at him and he's just slicing them down like stormtroopers.
Again, my favorite line: "Make it make sense."
Yeah.
It is what it is. If you can't make it make sense, get out of here. And I love it, that one stream where he was like, "If you don't make it make sense, I'm booting you out of here because you're in here talking all this mess." I mean, it's great. Sox Bulletin says, "Thank you, ZodWriter. You are saying what I have been feeling. I love the Kenobi series. So many people are just nitpicking the series. It's sick." Yeah, I agree. It
Yeah,
is.
just
It's
nitpicking
sad.
for
It's
nitpicking
sad.
sakes. Let
Just
me find something I don't
nitpicking.
like and harshly talk about it all day.
Maybe 13 episodes would be better. Daredevil season 1 was perfect the way it was structurally. Oh yeah, I like
Yeah, well,
Daredevil.
Daredevil is
Was
good
cool.
stuff.
We know that Disney is trying to move away from the old lore, so not surprised with how the story is progressing. That dude Vent says, I mostly listen to European power metal and folk metal bands like Powerwolf,
Sabaton.
Sabaton, and what's this other one?
This one I
Cor
don't even. Well, I don't.
Corp Corpla
Lonnie.
Corplacani Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Got
look
me
them.
there on that one.
I'm gonna have to look them up. You remember? Do you remember an old indie band called Firestarter?
That sounds kind of familiar.
I think they were located out of Canada, but they had a couple of really interesting songs back in the early 2000s, and they just kind of faded into obscurity. I haven't seen anything from them recently, so at all. I don't even think you can find their music anymore.
Have to go to SoulSeek to find it.
Integrity 101 says, I saw Morbid Angel open for Slayer and Pantera back in 2001. Sick concert. Sounds like
Very
a lot
cool,
of fun.
Integrity. That's heavy stuff.
Sounds actually awesome. Bat Dan says, but ZodWriter Sil and Mikey said the air cut was imminent. That can only mean it would get announced May 18th. It didn't. Yeah. Well, that's the funny part I love. May 18th is actually the definition of imminent. I mean, that part always kind of got me. I mean, what was your take on that, Necron?
Imminent. It meant DC fandom to me next year. That's imminent to me with Aircut. I didn't see Seal and Mikey say.
Mikey's saying this year, but
yeah, and I didn't see Seal and Mikey. I know it. Bad Dad saying Seal and Mikey never said anything about May 18th. Not once.
No,
so
not once.
People putting words in their mouth when they're doing that.
Glad you feel better, Zeno. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Zeno?
Worst Jago says, R.I.P. Sharon Peters. Twitter, you will be missed. Oh, absolutely. I definitely love Sharon Peters. I don't know why she left Twitter, Worst Jago, but I feel the same way you do. Sharon Peters is is a gift from heaven that everybody should
Best
enjoy.
comments in the chat.
Best comments ever. Koopy Malik says, Sil and Mikey didn't say it was supposed to be announced May 18th, as far as I remember. No, they never did. That
Nope.
was something that the
Beta
the Move On
Squad.
Squad and the Beta Squad basically gifted upon.
It
They
didn't
need to take,
happen.
yeah, Sil and Mikey need to take the L. Yeah, okay, well, I'm still waiting on you guys to find a legitimate L for Sil and Mikey to take, because as of right now, Mikey is headed for the championship as far as getting things right. I don't know what
Big
to tell
time.
you. It's crazy.
They're gonna throw a parade.
Yeah, they might as well. I want hot dogs, balloons, everything. The whole
Marching
thing.
band, all that.
All that. And we
Floats.
want some bands to perform. We want it to be huge. Integrity 101, if you are old enough to fight in a war, then you are old enough for anything in my book. That's my gut reaction anyway. That makes sense.
Total sense.
Koopy Malik says, I was wondering from what comic book publisher the Warrior Nun came from. Was it in the same universe as Witchblade or Lady Death? I don't know. I don't know enough about Warrior Nun. I may have to look that up.
I could be wrong, but it may be later, but not in the early days of Lady Death. I don't remember, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Lady Death comics and the anime.
How could you not? Yeah,
anime. There wasn't
cool.
There was an anime at one point too, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Evil Ernie. That's where she started.
Nice to see someone actually liking the Kenobi series, other than myself. So many people are crapping on it. It's really getting to me. Don't let it get to you, though. That's the thing, Socks.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody take your joy away. If you're enjoying it and you're loving it, don't let the negativity get to you. I just love to see all these negative people that have been crapping on it all this time praising the episode that came out today. I love seeing that, because it shows that even the people that are negative and have to be negative because that's what they've built their channel, built their agenda around the negativity, even they're able to see the positive aspects of this episode. And again, how could you not be excited to see Anakin and Obi-Wan together in live action again after all these years?
I'm getting a great flashback scene like they gave us.
Oh, it was beautiful. And again, with next week's episode being feature length, I mean,
and Obi-Wan's only getting stronger.
Yeah,
so this showdown's going to be
He's going to be full on. He's going to be full on where he was in Revenge of the Sith at this point by next week, guaranteed. Especially, and I kind of feel like them giving us that flashback between Anakin and Obi-Wan was kind of a preview of how good the choreography is going to be on next week's fight in Mustafar. I just have this feeling we're gonna get the epic rematch that they were talking about before this series started. Zeno says Kenobi show has been fantastic all the way through. Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. Let's see. Thank you, Integrity. We got Bat Dan 530. Obi-Wan clears a plot hole in A New Hope. It explains how Leia knew who Ben Kenobi was.
Good
well,
point.
I think at some point, I think Leia's memory is going to get wiped or something, because I don't think she's going to have memories going forward of that little childhood adventure she went on.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they're going to keep that, because when you think about it, her and Obi-Wan should have a even closer relationship then, based on what they went through together in this series.
And she would be a little more upset when he died.
Right, because it's only 9 years between Obi-Wan and A New Hope. So she really, in 9 years, she's not going to forget that little adventure, how she was
kind of a big adventure.
It's kind of a big event where this character is going to be a part of her life and a part of her psychologically and her emotions for as long as she lives at this
Meeting
point.
a surviving Jedi, that would be kind of significant.
And Sox Bulletin says ZodWriter is making me cry. Now, with tears of joy, you are saying everything I have been feeling about Kenobi and the haters. This is exactly how I have been feeling as of late. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, I'd like to be positive. And I know that, a lot of people watch my channel. Some of my highest viewed videos are the ones where I'm ranting like a lunatic, complaining about something. But ultimately, for the most part, I like to stay positive. I like to have a positive channel. I get out here, I have great people like Necron and Skywalker and Sill and all these great people on my channel. And it's all positive. It's all fun conversation. I don't sit here and like to dwell in the negative. It's just that you have a lot of haters that want to do everything they possibly can to take people's joy away and to bring people down.
Haters are so obsessed with controlling the narrative, and if they're not happy, well, no one else can be happy. And yeah, don't fall into that trap. Look at
And they're
y-
not and they're not ever going to be happy. That's the
no,
thing. You can't one thing that people need to learn about life is you can't please a hater,
mm-mm.
because
They love
if you
feeding on that
if
negative
you could
energy.
if you could please a hater, they wouldn't be a hater anymore, because
Yeah.
they would have to change their tune, because now they're not hating. So that's why it's so cool to see people like, geeks and gamers walk back a little bit of their negative uh
Hmm.
viewpoint on this Kenobi series. It's nice to see that, because yeah, they got to backpedal a little, because it's Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor in a Coruscant flashback. I mean, how can you not like that? I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean, I pretty much now just sticking to the Mikey and Seal universe and affiliated programming, like you and Bat Channel, Skywalker. You
Yeah.
know, I just
I
prefer
feel
the
like I
positive
feel like
energy that I get
I
out of
feel
these
like
guys.
I feel like Sil and Mikey have kind of built an unspoken network
Yeah, they have.
in the way that, of like, the channels that you just mentioned. And I feel, and I feel honored to be among them, because again, this is exactly how it should be. There should be, this positive connection between people that don't want to hate everything and just want to enjoy stuff. I mean, life is complicated and depressing enough without, without it filtering into every aspect of your entertainment as well.
Your entertainment, like we said earlier, should be your escape
Sure.
for fun and joy and having fun time, enjoying things you enjoy. And if someone tries to take a dump on it, tune them out,
Yeah.
block them. I don't care. Have a
Yeah, it's
block
like I don't
party.
care. It's like I don't care anymore. Like, that's why I watch when I watch the content where they're being negative and they're bashing it. A lot of times I'll just laugh and think it's funny, because I'll be like, yeah, but you say that you're a Star Wars fan. You say that you're a DC fan. You say that you're this. You say that you're that. But you're so negative, and you're so just you're not, because the negativity and the hatred is overpowering you as a fan, and that's not how it should be. If you're a fan of something, then your hate should be secondary. You can
Yeah.
have issues. I'm not saying that it's all perfect and you got to
No,
love
you
everything.
can have
You
constructive
can have
criticism. Yeah.
constructive criticism, but to be just so blatantly hateful towards everything and try to make everything's about a bias, everything is about wokeism, everything is about this, everything is about that. Well, well, you're never going to like anything then, because you're going to be consumed by the hate. So far, I've enjoyed all Star Wars TV series just as what they are. Nice effects, nonetheless. Still waiting for Ahsoka. Yeah, Ahsoka is going to be great too. Oh
I think
my
it's gonna
god.
be good stuff. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes. Enjoy whatever you enjoy, man. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. How can that be bad? Don't let people ruin it for you. Exactly. Exactly. I see. This is what I mean. We have the best chats in the world, the best cross platforming again with
Yep.
Still and Skywalker and all that. It's fantastic stuff. We're Bat Channel. We're all uh,
When
feeling the same way about a lot of this stuff.
when these go live, it's almost like a family reunion in the chat. Everybody's what's up, how you doing, having a
Yeah.
good day, telling everybody what's up. There's not no negative energy.
Yeah, I agree. It's not negative at all. And Marcus Cruz says, Zod, thoughts on people calling it woke? I just think that they use
It's
identity politics as an excuse for everything. It,
identity politics is so tired, dude. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it on the left and the right. Just it's just looking to be offended,
yeah,
looking to be offended. I'm
you're
tired of it.
trying. They're basically digging through the weeds, trying to find something to complain about. So,
Good
so when you
lord.
call, so when you call Kenobi woke simply because you don't like Reva's character, okay? I This is the thing. I don't necessarily think that people that have an issue. I don't think, in fact, at all. I don't think people that have an issue with Reva's character or with the way Reva was written are racists. I think they're just. I think they just struggle with the way the character was written because they didn't understand the arc and didn't understand where they were going with the character. But now, after today's episode,
It's
where
making
that's
sense.
all revealed to you and it makes sense now, and you've basically it's basically been explained to you in that awesome conversation that Riva and Obi-Wan had. Great exposition. Now you shouldn't have a problem. You should understand exactly why Riva was the way she was. Now, to me, it doesn't even seem like bad writing at this point because now I can go back and I can look at why she was the way she was initially and compare it to where they're taking the show now. And now I have respect because now I see what they were doing with the character. And that's what I mean why I say we've been so spoiled with so much content that as viewers, a lot of people just don't have the patience for a story that is building and actually trying to weave a tale. People don't have patience for that anymore.
I think you
They
hit
just
the
want
nail on
everything
the
boom,
coffin with
boom,
that.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
That's what
they
they
want
want.
it knocked out of the park in the first 5 minutes,
First 5 minutes,
and
you
they're like,
have
"That
you
this isn't
have the
always the
first five
case."
minutes you have the first 5 minutes to connect with me, and if you fail, then you've lost me, and I'm going to
Yeah,
bash it all the way through. That's the way these people act. It's ridiculous. I
so
don't know.
impatient.
I love it though. I think it's great. And like I said, I'm gonna get the Black Series Reva figure for sure
Nice.
now because I think Reva is a cool character, and I think we will. I think she's gonna be even more cool in this next episode because now that we know what her deal is, yeah. If she doesn't, we know she's not gonna die. Although the way Vader impaled her, I'd be pretty surprised if she survives, but maybe
Yeah,
she'll.
well, it made it look like she is gonna survive somehow.
Yeah, she's gonna survive somehow. She's gonna go to Tatooine and maybe
Oh, get one of those stomachs made or whatever.
practice, protect Luke or something. I don't know. That dude Vince says Lucas was too busy adding nonsense to the original trilogy than making new stuff until the prequels. I really wish he would have adapted the uh like one of the Thrawn trilogies after Return of the Jedi. I wish Lucas would have did a sequel trilogy when the actors were young enough for it to still be awesome, and then went back and did his prequels
The
afterwards.
prequels after finishing it up. Yeah, that would have been a good way to handle it. I like the
Uh,
Dark Empire comics.
oh, I love it. Have you heard the audio version of Dark Empire? They
No.
did an actual. You should look it up on YouTube. They actually did it was officially released
Wow.
back in the day in the 90s on CDs, and it's fully casted audio drama. They even got Billy D. Williams back to voice Lando Calrissian, and
Wow.
they had and it was fully dramatized with music and sound effects. It was fantastic. For the longest time, Dark Empire was the sequel trilogy to me, because it was an actual, when you think about it, it's actually would have actually been a worthy story for them to adapt
to go
into
yeah.
movies. It was fantastic. I love it. And yeah, but you should definitely check it out. You'll enjoy it. It's fun a fun thing to listen to if you've read and love the comics.
I will look that up.
Yeah, definitely. Sith Holocron says, I love Bad Batch. I don't know why it has so much hate. I don't know. I watched the first couple episodes of Bad Batch. I'm still behind. I gotta finish Bad Batch up.
Bad Batch is enjoyable. I enjoyed it.
But I loved the Clone Wars. I love Rebels. So I'm definitely
Clone Wars and Rebels with Sith lore and Jedi lore. That's gives all the great backstories of what you need to know.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. And that's another reason why I can't understand all the hate for a lot of these modern shows that Disney is doing, because if you know the lore, you shouldn't have an issue, because you can see what they're doing. Koopy Malik says, I know a movie titled Firestarter. Yeah, the movie. I wasn't talking about the movie, though. I was talking about the band. I think they're from Ontario, Canada, I think. Marcus Cruz says, people are hating on young Leia, calling her a Mary Sue. Know-it-all, 10-year-old. The kid doesn't deserve it. Listen.
She's great.
That young actress playing Leia is fantastic. I don't know. Listen, even if you think that the story around it doesn't make sense and it kind of breaks canon or whatever, you got to give credit to the actress, because child actors are not
usually
easy at all to work with. And this girl is amazing.
She's killing it
as Princess Leia. It's
wow. And I can see her growing up to be the Princess Leia that we know.
Yeah, she totally fits the character type, and you could totally see, because what people don't realize is Leia is only 19 years old in A New Hope.
That's your kid.
So it makes sense that she's this kind of character at this age. I don't get people. And again, these are people who claim to be Star Wars fans. They claim to be into the lore, and you complain about this version of Princess Leia, which is fantastic.
They need to get into beta rehabilitation programs.
Yeah, we really need beta rehabilitation programs. I'll never understand this at all. Let's see. Zeno says, "Hey Necron, cool to see you live and in color."
Here I am.
Absolutely. So the show on stream with Technicolor, just like old Tom and Jerry cartoons. Yeah. Bad Dan says, I gotta go. Bedtime. Have a great rest of the show. Thank you for being here, Bad Dan. As always, great to see you. I'm so glad James Earl Jones came back to do the voice of Darth Vader. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he's gonna be the voice of Darth Vader forever, because they've got, I think they have some sort of a computer program where they can put in
words
and anything, and he basically will deliver them in Darth Vader-esque, phrasing and stuff.
That's awesome.
Integrity 101 says the Move On crowd is a joke. I challenge them to name one good reason not to continue the Snyderverse. They can't. No one can, and all they do is repeat the silly narratives put out by the old regime. I agree, 100%. It's hard to understand at this point why anybody would discount the Snyderverse. I think we are at a point where all the signs are pointing directly to the Snyderverse. We've got Zach himself. We've got his assistant director, Clay Staub. We've got Sil and Mikey. Okay, I don't think we have any reason to think otherwise at this point.
We're getting people put in place who used were pro Snyderverse at WB. This is looking that way. Zasov wants Superman. Henry Cavill
Yeah,
Superman.
and I don't care that there's some lunatic on Twitter who's getting attention from TMZ because he's saying that
Because he had the worst take ever.
yeah, that Henry Cavill is too old to play Superman. Yet, uh,
That
and
was
yet Robert Pattinson is only a couple years younger than Henry Cavill.
yeah.
So is Robert Pattinson aging out of
He's
the
gonna
role of
age out
Batman
2 years from now.
2 years from now?
We're gonna have to get a new emo bat.
We've got Integrity 101 saying, I like ranting lunatic Zod. A lot of people do. Based on my views, a lot of people like ranting lunatic Zod. It's just something that people like to see. And I don't know. I don't. And I don't go out of my way to do that, but sometimes
It just happens.
Um, let's see. We've got Marcus Cruz says, I feel sorry for the people who review bombed the Kenobi series at Rotten Tomatoes. Oh yeah, they're just morons. It's just the
Beta
same
behavior.
bunch of beta idiots that does the same thing all the time. Sil Abdul Inc. What's up, Sil?
Ew.
Good friend Sil Abdul Inc. The new wave of content creating. It's okay to like stuff now. Yes,
Yes.
yeah, and we don't pretend either. If we like something, we say we like it. If we don't like it, we give our reasons why we don't, and that's it.
And you
It's
move
like
on to something else. You don't sit there and obsess over something you don't like.
one of my favorite streams that ever happened was when Sil and I got together and did our review together of the Batman. To me that was amazing because that was where we pretty much we laid it all out. We gave you all reasons why we felt the way we did. We didn't sugarcoat it. And if there were things we liked, we talked about the things we liked. But if there were things we didn't, we were honest about it. And that's all you can really be. People like authenticity and they like honesty, and they can tell if you're full of BS. That's the thing about a lot of this constant negativity that you see on YouTube and social media and various platforms. The negativity, if that's the only thing that you do, you don't ever have an opportunity to be genuine. And
Yeah,
that's the
that's a good
problem.
point.
I mean, how can you be genuine if your whole platform is based on being negative?
Negative and crapping on things.
What's up, Strong Arm Flicks? Always a pleasure to see you, man. And Sock says, well, if it wasn't for Mikey, we wouldn't all be here. That's why I call it the Mikey verse. He created this, and I came up with the term Mikey verse
He
for
did.
all of us because it's him. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Socks. The Mikey verse is something else to be super excited about.
The Mikeyverse is about to get even more awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Zeno says, want to see some insane hate for the show? Watch Max's show earlier tonight. RJ was ripping Kenobi apart. He even went Z for went as far as to say that Ewan had no business producing the show of such low quality. Well, again, man,
That's his fault.
I only watch certain content creators now. I stay in my lane. Like Necron, like you pointed out, man, we stay in our universe, and that pretty much keeps us
Yeah,
grounded. I mean,
I'll
you know,
watch Max's streams every once in a while until certain people start coming on, and then I'll bail out. I like some of the people there, but not everyone.
Giant Ghost Dog wants to know, anyone a fan of Mr. Dixie Normus?
Not
Can't
familiar.
I'm not familiar with the name. I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, what up? Enjoying these gentlemen. Glad you're here, Sil, of course.
Good to see so.
Chad Snyderverse giving a shout out to the great Sil Abdul. Everybody's happy to see Sil, and rightfully so. This is what and this is what it is. Going back to what you were saying about it being about this being a close knit, community, and every stream in our circle feeling like a family reunion of sorts. That's the best way to look at it. Marcus Cruz says, "I bet you RJ called Ewan McGregor Ewan like the fandom menace." Oh my god, I hope not. I hope not. And Sharon Peters,
Oh, no.
everybody misses you on Twitter, Sharon. I was talking to Console Fanboy about you earlier today. I hope you are doing well. Sharon Peters with her trademark, "Hey, girlfriends." And we've got Zeno. No, he didn't say his name that way, but the kid has a severe hate boner. Well, you got to consider where he's coming from. You got to consider who's grooming him at this point.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, and you look at, when you look at who people are rolling with, when you look at who people are moving with,
that kind of explains the
it's easy.
situation.
It's
Yeah.
easy to see why they take on the properties and attitudes that they do. That's just the reality of it.
He's gonna have to man up, man.
I hate the new term they called Ewan. It's annoying. It is. It's definitely annoying. We got Koopy Malik saying hello to Sharon Peters. We've got Koopy saying hey to Sil, and Sharon Peters replying. And Mikey Sutton, the great Mikey Sutton. I saw A New Hope opening day, May 25th, 1977. Love Star Wars. Oh yes, Star Wars is great. I mean, again, we were all children of Star Wars in one way or another, and this is why I don't. Again, I don't get all the hate. I mean, especially
getting Star Wars weekly.
Oh my god, man!
And now they're complaining.
if you would have told me, if you would have told 8-year-old me that as a grown man, I was going to be able to watch Star Wars live action TV shows on a weekly basis, I would have thought you were crazy.
I would have too.
I mean, it's amazing what we're getting now, content wise. I mean, I my goodness, it's fantastic.
And if you hate it so much, don't.
It's a fantastic. It's a fantastic time to be alive. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, for real. I've kind of started looking at things just completely, seeing things completely different. Like watching Obi-Wan, I'm feeling optimistic and having this positive aura and feeling like a kid again. I'm enjoying it so much.
That's awesome. That's the way it should be.
And Zeno says it's just childish. Yeah, it is. And we got Sock saying hello to the great Mikey Sutton. Mikey Sutton, A New Hope would be called woke now. Oh my god, that's so true though. I mean, they would figure out a way to call it woke, but no, I don't know if it would be A New Hope that would be woke. It'd be The Empire Strikes Back that would be woke because Billy D. Williams is in it.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Will Billy D. Williams
triggered.
People would be so triggered by Billy D. Williams, the first black
man.
They're
trying to change everything.
Star Wars. Yeah. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if The Empire Strikes Back were, come out today? It would be the first, Lucasfilm would put out a statement to Billy D. Williams. They'd be like, now you're probably gonna get some hate because you're a black man in Star Wars. And because you're the first, you're probably going to get a bunch of racist people tweeting at you. So just be prepared for that. And then they'll all come out with statements and stuff.
And Billy D would say, you know what? Colt 45.
Yeah, Colt 45. Yo. Oh, it's terrible. It's true. That's exactly what it would be like.
He wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
like, I'm in Star Wars.
Yes, we have the Scooper Supreme in the building. We do. So did I, Mikey. Marcus says so. Ewan is a beta now for defending Moses Ingram. That's some BS. I agree. I totally agree. Integrity 101 says being offended is a choice. Literally. Honestly, I have to have a lot of respect for someone for them to successfully insult me.
That's a good one.
That's a definitely a good one. And Sharon Peters says, for a white Asian guy, Necron is looking hot. All right. Well, see, yeah,
Asian. Well, that's a new one.
you've got the seal of approval from Sharon Peters. So there you go. Zeno says these people forget that they have a right not to be offended. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
Mikey says they bash Star Wars, but rave about Reeves bats. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's something
Make
funny.
it make sense.
The bat who walks is a perfect movie, right? But Obi-Wan is a horrible series. And
the Batman, you know what the star of the Batman was to me? The Batmobile. I love that Batmobile, but the Batman
did you get the Lego version of it?
I did not get the Lego. I got some.
Oh, you got a Batmobile?
Well, not just that one. I got this one with all of them in there.
Oh, okay. It's
got I got a Zack Snyder.
Well, there's a lot of and there's a lot of really cool Batmobiles. I mean, I like Zack Snyder's Ben Affleck's Batmobile. I also like the Tim Burton Batmobile from
that's
Batman '89. So those are my two favorites.
I like muscle cars, so I thought the Patterson one looked like.
And Mikey Sutton brings up a great point. There's money in bashing Star Wars, absolutely.
That's
true. You got the hate brigade gets paid. It's the truth. It's the truth.
About how I hate this behind the paywall.
And if you want to be, if you want to make money, all you got to do is hate watch something and rant about it. People will love it. Zeno says that they do Reeves bat in the middle of the road. Yeah. Just like bashing Snyder. Yeah. There's money to be made in bashing Snyder as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's kind of just goes to show how popular it is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Phantom Menace loves Pattinson, but they hate Snyder and Batfleck because Snyder called Geeks and Gamers out. Yeah. That's what that is. That's just personal because Snyder called them out. Sharon Peters says, "Take shirts off, guys." Maybe one day, Sharon. Not right now, though.
I don't want to see that.
Mikey Sutton says, "Bashing Snyder is big bucks." Definitely. Fire for Mikey from Chad Snyderverse, and Mikey says Rebels is his fave. And I love Rebels too. Rebels is a wonderful show, man. It's fantastic.
It's deep.
It is, and Clone Wars is phenomenal as well. Sil says still finishing Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars is amazing. Mm-hmm. Marcus says Cody is going to be in the Bad Batch season 2.
Nice.
Mikey Sutton says the little Leia has to realistically evolve into the princess. You can see it. Yes. I agree 100%. She is such a great actress because she's like, and you can it's totally believable that in 9 years she will be the princess of the rebellion.
I'm sold on perfect. It.
Yeah. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, that'll be her for sure.
Like if they got a boring little girl who couldn't pull it off, and they just cast anybody, But this girl is actually really giving total Leia vibes. You could see her growing into Princess Leia.
She has that little fiery rebellious side. Like, no,
and she's awesome. And some of her dialogue is really, really cool too. I just love it.
Well, what about the scene where he when she asked him if she knew her mother? That was like, wow, that's heavy.
That was pretty good too, yeah. Sil says little Leia is wonderful. I agree. Zeno says bashing what the majority loves is getting is grifting 101.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Mikey saying hi to everybody, which is great. And we got Integrity 101 saying what's up. And Chad Snyderverse says Vader in this latest episode was a true beta blocker. And I agree. Vader was classic Vader in this episode. Like Vader, oh my God. Listen, I am so overwhelmed by how good this episode. This is how you could tell it was great stuff, because you and I have been talking about it all night. It's just been like, it's just so much fun to be able to talk about something and have just legit love for it and appreciation for what they've done.
You know, and I kind of like how Vader is just kind of like he's just a dick. Like, he just toys with his victims. He just doesn't go out and kill them right away. He's like just toying with them.
He was messing with Reva so bad. And was it just me, or did any of you in the chat think that Vader was going to decapitate Reva the way that that Anakin decapitated Count Dooku? Because when he put the two lightsabers together, I seriously thought he was going to decapitate her right there, and I would not have been surprised if he did it, because he was just in full boss mode in this episode. So I wasn't, Koopy Malik agrees that little Leia is good. Some of her choices annoyed me, but still she delivers it well. It's mind-boggling. Okay, we got another hi from Mikey. They don't want Snyderverse to continue. That means Sil Abdul Inc. and I will laugh at them. Yeah, they don't. They don't want it to continue, and I've never understood that either. Again, but I do kind of understand it, because again, it's profitable to hate on the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
it's profitable to hate on Star Wars. It's profitable to hate on anything that's somewhat popular. or has a niche audience, or anything, it's popular. Hate is popular. I want Snyder to get his hands on that Disney tech. Imagine the wonders he will do with it. Oh yeah, the what's the name of that thing? What's it called?
With the screen in the back of the
screen, where it's the actual location that they're able to go. Yeah. Awesome stuff.
Hey, we're about to get Rebel Moon, so good things are coming our way.
Ranting lunatic Zod rants, but he makes perfect sense. I try to make perfect sense, even though I get a lot of criticisms for my rants. But the funny part is that my rants are my most viewed videos. So I don't know what to tell people. Mikey Sutton says, I love the Green Lantern movie. I have a soft spot in my heart, Mikey, for the extended cut of the Green Lantern movie.
I didn't hate it.
Especially Sinestro.
Yeah, he was evil. He was cool.
He was awesome in it. Marcus Cruz, so hyped for Rebel Moon. Yeah, Rebel Moon is going to be fantastic. Koopy Malik says hashtag Mikeyverse, hashtag Sil Nation, hashtag Snyder Nation. Exactly.
Let me make this point. Snyder movies, to me, give me the same rush I get when I hear good metal.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like, it's on point. It's right.
Like my good friend, like my good friend, Robert Meyer Burnett says about the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
It's freaking metal, man. It's freaking metal. Yeah, he loves Zack Snyder's Justice League because it's so metal, and it is. It's definitely metal. Oh my God!
Parademons, Darkseid, Batman, Superman, Cyborg. It was metal.
And Mikey Sutton says the comment of the night: I created Necron's powers. Scary. I love that. That's the comment of the night, Mikey. I'm gonna go ahead and
pin
that comment. Yes, indeed. I mean, I really really love the way, uh, you know, the point you made about all about this being like a family kind of thing, because it really has that atmosphere, and it's like everybody knows everybody in this space, and
Yeah,
we're all just here for the same reasons. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Koopy Malik says Mikey Sutton Necron going to be in Dreamwalker. Absolutely,
yep.
absolutely. Integrity 101 says they are rolling with a YouTuber that is a snake in the grass. Well, we know that. And Marcus Cruz wants to know, El Necron, did you watch Top Gun Maverick?
I finally saw it last week and loved it.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely loved it.
it was a freaking masterpiece,
It really
man.
is. I mean, it should get movie of the year. I mean,
Being a sequel to the original Top
yeah.
Gun and being as good as it is, just that's
my
what I'm
w-
saying. We're
my wife
spoiled.
was
We're
in the edge
spoiled,
of her
man.
seat. She was like ducking and dodging and cheering and clapping. I mean, what a great movie. That's
We
what a
are
movie should do.
we are spoiled, man. I mean, we've got so much great stuff to be excited about. I mean, yeah, we haven't even talked about Top Gun Maverick, but it is a wonderful movie, and
Wonderful.
I feel like,
It it's patriotic without having to shove it down your throat too. It's
and
just
and it's
great.
a feel good movie too.
Yeah.
You leave the theater with this feeling of rejuvenation.
Like you're happy. You enjoy it, you know. It's I was like, I knew it was gonna be good and I heard all the good reviews, but until you see it, then you know. Like, oh
Oh
man,
yeah.
this is great.
Fantastic stuff. And Mikey Sutton says Necron is part of Sil Abdul Inc. Suicide Squad. Zod is after them. Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. Dreamwalker, masterpiece of writing by Mikey Sutton. I'm excited, man. Issue 2, I pre-ordered issue 2 and the director's cut of the first issue.
Hmm.
I'm so excited for everything Dreamwalker, and I'm writing my own side story for Dreamwalker as
Oh
well.
wow.
That
Nice.
I'm in the process of crafting and trying to get it to my liking so I can send it to Mikey. I Again, this is Dreamwalker is fantastic. If again, the Mikey verse is real. People get hyped. I mean, this is not a joke.
As
Dreamwalker
Mikey says, he's playing to win.
Dreamwalker's legit, guys. It really is. And Koopy Malik says Mikey Sutton. Oh wow. Integrity 101 says Top Gun Maverick was awesome. I'm going to see it again next week. I can't wait. I can't wait till it comes out on video. It's definitely going to be a movie that
Hmm.
I watch repeatedly. I
I
would
want
go
that
as far as
4K.
to say I like it a little more than the original,
I think so.
just slightly. Just
Original's
slightly,
great. Original's
because
great.
it has this relevance today that it actually makes sense. I don't know. It's so good though. It's a great film. Um, when I was a kid, all we had was the holiday special. Oh God, you know what?
See?
I've got a soft spot in my heart for the holiday special though, because that's
Oh,
fun
but
to go. That's fun to go back and watch every once in a while too.
then what we get later?
Ha-
Ewoks,
Happy Life Day, yeah, and then we get the Ewok adventure. We get
droids.
battle for Endor and droids, and yeah,
You know, I
we
think
had a little bit of
Mandalorian's a little better.
we had a little bit of Star Wars growing up, aside from the original trilogy, but it was kind of it wasn't that it definitely wasn't on the level that you get now with
Not even,
Mandalorian and
not
all
even
that. That's why
close.
I'm saying we're so spoiled now. It's ridiculous. I mean, wow. Again, I'm just glad to be alive during it all, because it's just
I agree.
so much. Marcus Cruz says we are going to get Mando season 3 with Bo-Katan taking over Mandalore. How are you not hyped for that? Exactly. It's going to be
That's gonna
great
be
stuff.
kick ass.
It's going to be so great. And hello to the great retro nerd girl who says,
Oh,
just
hey,
stopping by to say hi to ZodWriter and El Necron. Great to see you, retro nerd girl. You are awesome.
that's
I
cool.
implore everybody, if you are not subscribed to Retro Nerd Girl, to do so immediately. She makes some fantastic content. And we are attempting to work out the details for me to eventually have Retro Nerd Girl on as a guest for late night Q&A, because it would be awesome to interview her. She's so amazing. Um, Mikey Sutton says, I met Billy D in 2019 class act. Yeah, Billy D, the great Billy D. Williams. Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. I used to offend. Now I trigger. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what it is, and people are easily triggered these days. That's for sure.
Not a
Um,
hard job.
without having the dark saber. Interesting. I mentioned Betamax in my new Amber Heard article. Trigger. Yeah,
That article is great.
Mikey's
You
on
haven't
point.
read it.
Mikey is on point. Honestly, that everything that Mikey's doing now, it's all planned. Mikey knows exactly how to handle these betas. Oh, it's amazing.
Heck,
Um,
can I bring up that I don't have to spoil a part of Mikey's article.
yeah, go ahead.
The where the Aquaman baby comes out and goes, "My man." That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You listen. You know, you got what Mikey's reporting, and then you got what these counter beta narratives are, and notice how they're so diametrically different from
Oh
what
yeah. They're
from
not
what
fun.
what
Too
Mikey. No,
boring.
no, no. It's all BS.
Boring. My God. Mikey's a good time, laughs, and
A good time, and
his
is
facts written by a fan having fun.
very cool about everything,
Yeah.
Integrity 101 says, as a Batman nerd that usually sees Bat films 5 to 10 times in theaters, it felt weird only seeing Reeves film once in theaters, not buying it either. Hey, yeah, again,
That's their fault.
well, that's why the movie didn't make $1 billion, because all of us felt like you did, Integrity, like, okay, I saw it once. I have no desire to see it again. That's pretty much, and that's never
And
a
it's a
good. That's
Batman
never.
movie.
That's never a good thing when we're talking about a Batman movie. I mean, even Batman and Robin, I saw more than once.
Correct.
I mean, but the Batman, no, I have no desire to ever see it again. Koopy Malik says, the Batman who walks. All I know is the ghost walk. The ghost walks, which is a phantom. Yes. Socks Bulletin says, every time I see Darth Vader, I get a cold chill going down my spine. He is epic scary. Oh yeah, especially how they're doing him. They're doing him now. They're giving you full on epic Vader.
Yeah. What Sith Lord Power Unleashed.
And Mikey Sutton says, Green Lantern theatrical bombs coming. Pow
Oh boy.
pow. Man, gotta love it. Gotta love Mikey. There's always something that he just can't wait to give us. And this is why again, being a part of the Mikey verse, you're never
It's great.
you're never disappointed, Mikey. Because even when Mikey gives you bourbon, he always gives you context
Yeah.
within the bourbon. So you're never left there sitting there wondering, well, gee, what did he mean by that? No. Mikey's not going to lie to you. He's going to give it to you straight the way he's hearing it. Chad Snyderverse says that Mikey Sutton just read it. Quality article, as usual. Absolutely. Retro Nerd Girl says, I am surprised Darth Vader didn't kill Reva. Yeah, I was surprised too. Again, I thought Reva was going to get killed just like the way Anakin killed Count Dooku. I thought the two lightsabers, I thought he was going to just decapitate her right there. And again, if he would have done that, I would not have been shocked. I would have been like, okay, well, there's Reva.
Yeah, that's that. It's a wrap.
Hate leads suffering. Suffering leads to the dark side. Yoda, yes, it does. And Mikey Sutton says that Chad Snyderverse, thank you. More snark coming. Retro Nerd Girl says, at Mikey Sutton, we are in need of a theatrical Green Lantern movie finally. And Chad Snyderverse says, yes, more snark, please. The Snyderverse is metal. It's not bubblegum pop. It's aging like fine wine also. Speaking of Snyder and metal, Snyder would be perfect for a proper Doom movie based off of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I actually would like to see Zack Snyder do a live action heavy metal film.
Oh,
that would be
would be wild.
That would be pretty wild. Let's see. Koopy Malik says Retro Nerd Girl, one with Jon Stewart, hopefully. Integrity 101 says it's a shame Tom Cruise was too old for the Top Gun sequel. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Issue 2 is death metal. It's pure Slayer, nonstop action. Awesome.
Right up my alley.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Again, I'm loving Dreamwalker, man. I fell in love with the first issue immediately. I was like, this is gonna be the comic book series of the century. It's fantastic.
My gut instinct is that it's gonna move out of just being an independent comic. I think.
Of course,
it's gonna blow up.
Of course. Oh, it's gonna be huge. Integrity 101 says it's a shame Tobey Maguire was too old for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Exactly. Oh. Henry Cavill's aging out of the role. Okay, moron. We won't hold it against you because you're so stupid and you're making comments that make no sense whatsoever. But that's okay.
That was probably one of the worst takes I've seen in a while. And now he's internationally known for having one of the worst takes. Tuck the L.
Yeah, that was a big L, and we know why he did it too. We know.
Oh yeah, he knows. He just does shit to be an ass.
I mean, to be, and actually, again, it's like I say, it's not about whether he's right or wrong. He's doing it simply for engagement purposes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about attention, positive or negative. It doesn't matter. If people are talking about you and people are engaging with you on social media or whatever platform you're on, you're doing something right. So in that regard, I can kind of understand. But I mean, why you would want to be known for that, for one of the worst takes of all time, is beyond me. But maybe, but it's making me wonder, like, how much of it now is he doing because he actually believes these things, or he's just doing it just because, again, he wants to be like Mikey and trigger people. But he's not as. But see, the thing is, he's not cool like Mikey is. So you can't really.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's I think a lot of these, Syl and Mikey detractors, they can't grasp one of the things that about Syl and Mikey that's so great. They're cool and they got a cool show with cool chemistry, and it's fun to watch. And you watch some of these other guys, and it's like watching I don't know, two virgins debate a football game or something. It's just boring. Mikey and Syl, they got spark, they got fire on their show.
Yeah.
You can't buy cool. Either you got it or you don't.
And they don't treat their audience. They don't treat their audience like idiots either.
No, not at all. They're not insulting.
And that's the thing. You're not. They're not insulting. There's nobody being insulted. There's nobody being attacked. There's nobody that is being belittled for anything. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm absolutely proud to be part of their network, because it's ultimately, like you said, it's like a family atmosphere. It's very, very close knit. We're all really entrenched and all a part of, the Mikey verse. And it makes me feel good just to be able to take, for example, a Mikey Sutton Geekosity article, post it on Twitter, and make a comment, and just see the betas just totally lose it. I it's
Trigger
so
warning.
it's so funny to me. They'll get totally triggered over an article. I just love it. I've never seen anything like it. It's almost like they've got Sil and Mikey derangement syndrome, and
They
they
do
just
have that.
whenever they hear anything from Sil and Mikey, they just absolutely lose it 100%.
The people
You know,
champ gets under their
the
skin, man.
people's champ, the people's champ is getting too many W's, and they're forever combing the desert looking for L's.
Yes,
It's
they
it's
are.
crazy. Sox Bulletin says, I'm so glad I can help support Mikey Sutton in every way. The pre-ordering Dreamwalker and posting his scoops on Facebook and on Twitter and in different comic book groups on Facebook. Absolutely, Sox. The
Fox is the man. He's always
supporting
promoting.
supporting what you love and what you're into is the best way to do things. And again, supporting the Mikey verse, you can't go wrong. It's great stuff.
Wow,
And
Sox is doing things he enjoys.
yeah,
What a
it's
concept.
it's beautiful. What a concept, right? It's not about the hate, it's about what you actually love. And Marcus Cruz says, Zod, looks like we have official Fantastic Four casting. It's leaked. I'm more excited for Secret Wars than what the DCEU is doing right now. Well, we don't even really know what the DCEU is doing
At
right
this
now.
point.
Do we really know what the DCEU is doing right now, apart from the stuff that Sil and Mikey are telling us? I mean, we really don't. Well, there is that Joker musical, right? Lady Gaga. I mean, yeah. Todd Phillips. You could tell he really wanted to come back and do that movie, huh? And let's see, we got Mikey Sutton. Thank you, Sil Abdul Inc. Inspired me to trigger. Yeah, Sil is very, very professional when it comes to triggering these betas. And Chad Snyderverse says that Marcus Cruz, what's the verdict? Mick Toon says, for reference on Batman, Batman and Robin shall not be mentioned. Okay. Marcus Cruz says Top Gun Maverick is going to outgross the Batman. Yeah. Well, that's because Top Gun Maverick is actually a good movie that appeals to a wide audience and not just a handful of Batman nerds. And not even a handful of real Batman nerds, just a few Batman nerds that are that we're looking for something that they found in Robert Pattinson. I don't know. Mikey Sutton says only one episode left of Peacemaker. Still can't finish the Batman. Wow. You see, Mikey,
Wow.
I couldn't watch Peacemaker at all. The only Peacemaker episode I watched was the episode with the Justice League cameo at the end, because so many people were talking about it. I had to see what all the fuss was about. And I still, after watching the episode, still felt good about the fact that I hadn't watched any of the series. I was just like, whatever. Let's see. Krasinski as Reed Richards, and unknowns for all three members. Integrity 101 says, sorry, I just wanted to absolutely slaughter the Cavill is too old narrative. Yes.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a dumb narrative. I mean, it totally makes sense, Integrity, because it's a dumb narrative. There's no reason for it. I mean, he's an attention whore, 100%. Yes. Virgin's beta football game. Yeah.
Well, that was the point. It's like, ew, what?
yeah, gross. Mikey Sutton says betas sound like they can't get laid. Just saying. Tinder is your friend. Beta's probably your only friend, though. Sox Bulletins is so wonderful. I agree. Sox is so supportive of everyone. Sox is awesome. Sox says thank you, Mikey Sutton. And Integrity 101 says, Mikey, it's okay. Let them run their mouths. Never interfere with an enemy that is in the process of destroying themselves. That's good. That's actually true. That's what they're doing
Yeah,
basically.
their
Because
comments.
when you think
Yikes.
about it, none of the stuff that they're saying is turning out to be true. And yet all of the things that Mikey's reporting on are coming to fruition in one way or another. And that's got to really bite these people. It really
Well,
has.
you saw the spin they were trying to do on Emmerich. It was it was comedy gold. They was just trying to spin it any way they could. And it was just like, what are you talking about, man? Get out of
Oh
here. He's
yeah. Oh yeah.
fired.
Oh yeah. 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 Oh, he's still got a production deal. He's
Ooh,
still there.
production deal.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, you Snyder fans need to chill. Oh, he's still there. Like
Stupid.
calm down. Calm down. You know, and that's why I say it's the betas are more obsessed with the Snyderverse than those of us in the Snyderverse fandom. It's just incredible to me. I don't talk about Snyder that much. I mean, on the level that these people are obsessed,
It's a daily thing.
they're bigger Snyder fans than we are.
They're giving them more publicity than we are. They're constantly bringing it up.
It's ridiculous. It really, really is. I've never seen an obsession on the level here that we're getting. It is completely nuts.
I see that too in the metal scene. Like there's beta metalheads who sit here and just talk about bands they hate all day, and you're like, "What are you doing? What? I mean, you hate this band, but yet you're giving them all this free publicity. Why don't you talk about something you like?"
Well, yeah, that's true. Why not give the publicity to something that you're passionate about? Because these people don't realize that, when they come to channels like mine or like Sill or Skywalker, all you're doing is promoting us because you're giving us engagement. It doesn't matter if you don't like what we're saying. You're still watching. You're still showing up. So thanks for showing up.
And you're sending people your way, and people might say, "Hey, this guy makes a lot more sense than these other guys," and they're going to stick around on your channel.
That's exactly it. And Chad Snyderverse says Mikey's more savage than Vader. Well, Mikey knows how to handle these betas, and that's just the reality of the situation. Marcus Cruz says the Thunderbolts MCU movie is probably going to be better than the Suicide Squad. I would have to agree with you, most likely. Integrity 101 says, I can't believe the Move On crowd and channels still have subscribers. Imagine being a content creator that covers movies and not being able to see what's going on right under your nose. Well, the thing is, again, it's profitable for them to be haters. Okay. And whenever it's profitable to be a hater, that's like taking the easy way out. That's like a shortcut. Like we don't want to do work to build an audience. We want to grift based on hate because hate sells. And when you hate, you have a bunch of other people who hate and feel the same way you do and are fueled by that hate. Why do you think channels like that make so much money? And you see people who hate people getting like $500 super chats and that kind of stuff. The reason you see that kind of stuff is because misery loves company. And that's why you see that. That's why you see that. Listen, I'm not gonna if I like something, I'm not gonna go along with the crowd that hates it just because it'll get me more views. No, I'm gonna be honest and say how I really feel about something. And that's what these are the kinds of people I like to surround myself with. So, Sill's like that, Mikey's like that, Skywalker's like that, Necron's like that. We all have this honesty where we want to tell the truth about how we feel about stuff. I don't feel like I get anything from lying or being dishonest or being fake. There's no reason to be fake. Everybody has a voice on the internet, so I don't know why you'd want to waste your voice being fake unless it's a grift.
It's a grift, but It must be a miserable existence, this to be a fake and lying to
Well,
yourself all the time.
you almost have to treat it if you're grifting like that. I would think a lot of these guys have to treat it like they're playing a role, like they're actors. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people like for say like just for an example like geeks and gamers, they talk all this stuff about Disney Star Wars. They act like they hate Disney Star Wars. But I would bet that they turn off the camera and they're just as excited about it as we are.
You're probably right.
They're fans. They like it, but
They're watching it.
They can't
They're
say that they
enjoying
like it. They can't say that they like it that much because if they come out as fans of it, then it goes against
what they're
the
doing.
stuff they're trying to do on YouTube, which is to stay angry and keep the hate flowing. If they are too complimentary, like I said today when I saw Geeks and Gamers kind of walking back their negativity on Obi-Wan, I sort of thought about it like they have to be careful because although he was walking it back talking about, how, it was great to see Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor together as Anakin and Obi-Wan again, and talking about how great Vader was in this episode and all this stuff. They have to put their hate on top of it and still have to say their negative stuff because the negative is what their bread and butter is. So if they're too positive, it veers them away from their narrative and they can't stray too far from their narrative because that's how they're making their money. So I've learned it. I've understood it. I've learned that that's how it goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers turns off the camera and he's a fan of this and actually really does like what they're doing. Same thing with Ryan Kennel and some of these others. I feel like they have a persona that they have to protect when they turn that camera on and they talk about the controversies and they talk about the negatives and whatever. But as real
they're
people,
tied into a certain
as real people, they're fans just like the rest of us. That's what I feel like. That's the attitude I get. I don't feel like he could hide it. I could tell by watching the video today that he actually really did enjoy this episode of Obi-Wan, but he could only say so much because if he got too positive, then it goes counter.
Narrative.
You can't do that. They've gone too far with their hate for this Obi-Wan show. They can't be too positive. Integrity 101 says, I don't like Limp Bizkit, but I also don't hunt down Limp Bizkit fans to tell them that they're stupid and to stop supporting the band, because I have a life. It's okay. Great things are coming for DC on film. Those hater channels will be toast. I'll never understand false and fake people. And good show, guys. Yeah, listen, Necron. We got to do this more often, man.
Yeah, I'm around.
This is fun stuff. I'm glad you're around. This was so much fun to connect on this level and just have a fun conversation.
Talking about things we enjoy.
Not, nothing really negative, just talking about things we enjoy, kind of splashing on some betas a little bit here and there.
You got to have your daily dose of beta blocking.
Beta blocking. Sox Bulletin says, hating on Star Wars is like last year when they were hating on the Masters of the Universe cartoon on Netflix. I love that cartoon Kevin Smith created. It's not woke at all. I liked it too, but I'm also a very big Masters of the Universe fan, and I've been into the lore and been a fan of that since I was a child. So I kind of saw, what he was trying to go for and why he did what he did, and I enjoyed it. And let me be honest with you, seeing Wonder Bread He-Man, even for a second, and the cameo in that cartoon was fantastic. So again, you got me again from a nostalgia perspective, and that's basically what it is. What's up, Adega Outlaw? It says, I'm late,
Mm.
very late. Hey, it's okay. You can always catch the replay. I'm just so excited that we had such a fun and positive conversation. And again, Necron, yeah, we're gonna do this again, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sounds good.
Definitely. I've got an idea I want to run by you after the show. And Integrity says, I like Stallone's Over the Top. Sumi, hey, I liked it too. That's the movie where he arm wrestled for custody of
Mhm.
his kid. Okay, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank Al Necron for joining me tonight. This has been amazing. And I want to thank everybody in the chat, everybody who stopped by, Skywalker, Sill, Sox Bulletin, Mikey Sutton, Adega Outlaw, all of you great people, Bat Dan, everybody, thank you
Goopy.
so, Koopy Malik, thank you so much, everybody, Retro Nerd Girl, all of you guys, you guys make it such a pleasure to do late night Q&A, and I will be back tomorrow with another episode of Late Night
Nice.
Q&A. Well, I will be welcoming the great Savage Bet. So we'll be having a lot more Snyderverse talk on Late Night Q&A just this week, because that's going to be tomorrow. And Integrity says, talk to you guys later. We got Showcaz in the chat too, popping in too. Power to the metal, to Zod and Necron. Great to see you, Showcaz. Sox Bulletin says, great show, guys.
Thanks, Socks.
You're great, Sox. Thank you so much for being here. Chad Snyderverse, thank you for being here. And Integrity, as usual, inevitable. Great to see you, as always. Thank you for coming. Missed the show, damn it. No problem. Check out the replay. I shout out to the replay crew. I love the replay crews. Hey, the great A Pass. She's always a good.
Oh yeah, she's great.
She's always a great replayer, and Snyder Queen and all you great people out there. I'm telling you, this is great. We have the greatest chat community in the world. It's so great to be a part of Sil Abdul Inc. and the Mikey Verse. See you guys tomorrow. And before we go, Necron, can you tell people what they can expect from you coming up?
Well, I don't really have a YouTube channel.
I know you don't have a channel, but
my band, I play in one band called Pius Levis. We're doing a split album with a German band called Omega Vortex. I seriously doubt anybody here will know what that stuff is. Some extreme freaking metal. And that's coming out in probably maybe a half a year. Final plans are really messed up right now, so we don't have a release date, but it's ready. And you'll see me in the chats, maybe popping up on other shows.
Oh yeah. Well, definitely. And so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you again, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow for Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter, where I will be having Savage Bat here on the channel.
Nice.
Good night, everybody.